Hey guys, welcome back to the I Hearth You King of the Hill. I'm Doa, that's Artosis, and this week Skip will be taking on Powder from Don't Kick My Robot. Skip, of course, taking out Sixa last week. Sixa with only one win, but still a decent player, one to watch for. But we'll see if Skip has got what it takes to win 2 in a row.
Yeah, he may well do. We'll see. He's going up against Don't Kick My Robot's Powder. You know, a very strong team, a very strong player with a lot of high-end tournament finishes. So, should be a good one. What interests me the most here, Doa, is we see the return of Ramp Druid.
Yeah, that's right. It is very much a Ramp Druid that's brought into the Nax meta now. You know, it's got Kel'Thuzad, it's got the Sludge Belchers in there, it's got a ton of taunts, actually.
It has the most taunts I think I've ever seen. Look at this, right? It's got Mark of the Wild. It's got 2 Sentient Shield Masters. It has 2 Druid of the Claw. It has 2 Sludge Belcher, it has 2 Sunwalker, it has an Ancient War, and it has a Faceless, which is likely to copy a taunt minion. So
yeah,
that's the most taunt I've ever seen.
It does. I feel like it's really well equipped to face a lot of first decks from people, you know, whether that's something aggressive, whether it maybe even is this mid-range hunter, but the problems that Ramp Druid had back when Ramp Druid was more popular still exist. You know, I mean, you still need a pretty early wild growth that you can get stuck with kind of a dead hand, a lot of 5 and 6 drops that you have to wait a long time to play. So it's still got a little bit of that inconsistency, but I feel like overall this one should be a pretty good matchup against the hunter deck that we see from Skip.
It should be kind of interesting, but as you said, you know, it's not going to be as consistent as this hunter deck. You know, the hunter deck looks really solid. You know, it's got the good end game, it's got the good early game, and everything in between. So, as far as consistency goes, I really like Skip's deck, but Powder, if he gets the right draw, is going to have an insane game.
Yeah, and once a deck like that wins one game too, it's a little bit tough to try to counterpick Druid. You know, Druid doesn't have any really especially bad matchups.
Yeah, you know, like against something like this, if I were playing like a best of 7, I would hope to have, like, let's say, a good Pally control deck to try to take out something like that.
How likely do you think that is?
It could happen. Some people are still playing some Paladin decks. I feel like it's lost some power in the last couple of weeks.
I think it's kind of starting to fall off.
Yeah, it really does feel like it. People have kind of figured everything out a bit more, and Paladin's kind of going by the wayside again. But hey, if he's playing a good control Paladin, it'd be a good counter pick. But I mean, Powder has to win first before we really get into that too much.
That's true. I feel like. So what do you think about the odds for this first game? Maybe like a tiny edge for Hunter.
You know, it is a really tough one for me. I haven't seen a deck with this many taunts, and that really does scare me for him. But you know, the right type of draw from either side can just dominate the match. I would feel fine with either of these decks against each other. I would feel very much like, oh, if I get a solid draw, I can definitely take this out.
I feel like it is pretty even, but I think you're right. I think it is going to rely a lot on the draw, too. So we'll see who gets that and who will be able to take the first game. Powder versus Skip, game 1. Let's get to it. Alright guys, here we go. Game 1, Skip versus Powder. And it's always nice to see that mad scientist in the hand, especially when you get the coin. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty nice. I think you'll probably... You know, some people would consider keeping the Savannah Highmane because it's just a good card against Druid, but I think it's fine. I think there's enough draw potential and whatnot that you can get into that anyways.
I agree.
The kill command... I don't know if I would keep that. I think I would throw it. I think this is exactly what I'd do for Skip.
You're probably not going to find a lot of early uses for kill command unless the Druid gets a really strong start. And the thing is right now the popular Druid deck is a more aggressive mid-range one, you know, with the oozes and all that stuff.
The kill command isn't very good against that, really.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't think Skip is expecting Ramp Druid.
Yeah.
I think you could probably make, what do you think, maybe a little bit better argument to keep kill command against Ramp than against the other one, but you'd still probably throw it back. That's kind of what I'd be leaning towards.
That's fair enough. A really good hand he actually ends up getting with he has a freezing trap and he has this mad scientist as well as, you know, basically the best one drop that Hunter has.
And seriously,
let's see what he gets. This is always the exciting part.
I love this card. Oh, that's not too bad.
Not
honestly.
Terrible.
Like
3/3 for 3.
Yeah, value-wise, a 3/3 taunt for 3. That's good mana. Yeah,
that's all right. Oh, he has both freezing traps though, so this mad scientist actually becomes a lot weaker. But thing is, Powder doesn't know this, so he may be careful about using it.
Oh, so here's the Druid of the Claw. Okay, see what he goes with. Yeah, just decides to taunt it up. Nothing wrong with that.
All right, and Yeah, you know, if you attack in, it's probably just going to die. The mad scientist runs into it, maybe an explosive trap pops up, bam, he's out of there. So
yeah, you don't worry about
solid.
it too much. And honestly, I mean, if you can get something like a Hunter's Mark out of the Hunter this early in the game, that gives you a pretty good feel for the late game too.
Certainly. Well, let's take a look at what he's playing. Looks like a Secret's going to come out, and that is fantastic. The freezing trap is so good against Innervate. You know, it really screws everything up. Now, does he attack here? Is the question.
I feel like, do you think maybe, I would almost lean towards Keeper and take it out and see if you can get 2 traps out of there with the
Yes,
taunt.
that's what I would like to see, actually. I would love to see him Keeper it, and I might even consider holding on to attacking, like wait till the next turn, use the Keeper or something. But he does choose to attack here, which is fine, because he has other good minions that he can play down.
Yeah, and his opponent doesn't really know that this is ramp yet. Seeing this card might make him kind of start to wonder, he's like, that's not supposed to be in there. What's Sen'jin Shieldmaster? Yeah.
Certainly. I think that's a pretty big tell there that something's going on. You don't see Sen'jins in these decks unless they're ramp normally.
Yeah, this is going to change how Skip kind of approaches this one a little bit maybe. He's got 4 mana right now. 5, I guess you could say, with the coin, but
yeah,
I feel like I think you kind of play this one a little bit slowly and sort of feel it out, you know?
What do you think about the Stranglethorn?
I think the Stranglethorn wouldn't be a bad play. It's good to just have on the board, you know? But he is going to go with the second freezing trap, and looks like the bear too, I believe. Yeah.
Yep, and that's completely fine. He's going to put these freezings right now. Gonna get those out of the way.
Might as well.
And Powder, like,
wow.
I guess Ascension is a fine minion to let get bounced. He's one of your least important ones for sure.
Like, look at the hand right now for Powder, and we're going into turn 6 after this. Like, as a hunter, how in the world do you get through what's in Powder's hand?
I know. And his mana curve is really filling out thanks to all of those wonderful freezing traps.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's got a 7-drop now even, so everything looking fine for him. Does drop this actually in charge mode. To take down that Grizzly, and that's smart. You don't want to leave a beast out on the board.
Oh, definitely, yeah. You can't risk it getting taunted up or something like that. Gotta get rid of it.
Well, looks like he's going to play down this Stranglethorn Tiger. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this 2-2 run into. Oh, no. He's just going to go to face with it.
Well, I think Skip's starting to feel a little bit of pressure here, you know, and like he's like thinking he needs to start getting some damage done. But that's going to be tough with the Sunwalker out. And how happy do you think Powder is seeing no traps pop up after killing that mad scientist?
Yeah, I mean, no traps did pop up, right? I saw
there's
animation over the deck.
There are only 2 freezing traps. So when a mad scientist dies and there's no traps in your deck, it makes like a little animation, but no trap pops up.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure on that.
Yep.
Okay, so taking a look at what is going on here, this is kind of tough, because obviously you don't want to run your 5/5 into this.
Yeah.
It looks like he wants to play Lotheb.
Lotheb, and then he's going to go ahead and pop the shield with his boar, it looks like, and he'll probably have to use the Tiger. I mean, at least the Tiger doesn't die, so it's not the worst situation ever.
Yeah, and you know what? With the Lotheb out there, he can't use any spell to get rid of this 5/1, so that actually makes it kind of a pain.
Exactly. Let's see. And he's really trying to save those keepers for the Savannah Highmanes, I believe. He can kind of outlast with taunts for now.
I think this guy's I think this is the best play he has right here. Right?
I agree. Yeah, you got to get rid of the 5/1.
His life total is actually still very, very high, so he can easily take that 5 to the face.
Oh, definitely, and especially with all the taunts in his hand too. Like he really doesn't have to worry about a lot of incoming damage. Like from here on out, I think if all the taunts get to stick around.
Getting rid of his life total here is going to be pretty tough. I have to say.
Well, this will help. I mean, he's probably going to be able to web spinner and then kill command. Yeah, to get 5 damage through and. I feel like Skip probably needs to start going for the aggressive plays here.
Yeah, I think the kill command makes a lot of sense. Keep your guy at 5 health. It's a lot harder for Drew to deal with 5 than with 4 because of Swipe.
Definitely, yeah.
And just probably a hero power. Start hitting him. Start getting the damage in.
Yep.
Because you're going to need to. You know how many taunts are in his hand. You know he has at least 2 taunts here.
That's 7 damage. I mean, already Powder's getting a little bit low. There's the Ancient of Lore. That'll help out a bit. But he's got the Keeper of the Grove to finish off both of them, so all in all, not a bad turn. It leaves him vulnerable to Savannah Highmane, I guess, but I kind of think you have to do what you did.
He has to develop the board. Yeah. Oh, speak of the devil, Savannah Highmane.
Wow.
Great draw right there from Skip, no doubt.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, and at the end of the day, he's got that combo as well, too. So if the board starts to build up for Powder, that's still a little bit dangerous. And also, neither Hunter's Mark has been used yet, too.
Look, based on Skip's hand, I think next turn, almost no matter what, we're going to see the Starving Buzzer combo come out.
I think you have to, yeah.
Yeah, like, he can draw easily like 3 cards off of it next turn because he knows at least 1 minion has to come out.
Yeah.
And drawn 3 deep, if you get 1 Hunter's Mark, the game might snowball.
I agree. So he's wondering, does he play that Druid of the Claw or the Sludge Belcher? And I think the Druid of the Claw is an okay play. It's the one that was sent back with the Freezing Trap.
It's more mana efficient.
Yeah,
So it just kind of makes sense to play it over the Sludge Belcher, even though the Sludge Belcher is really 2 taunts in one. Thing is, this guy dies straight up to the Savannah Highmane, so that's a bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You can think of it as sort of maybe removal, but look at that.
This
wow.
is a fantastic hand.
He
What
got
a good
the
turn.
Timberwolf. He's going to get really good draws from this, too.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance that he's going to get a Hunter's Mark out of this.
Well, there's a kill command. That's a pretty awesome draw.
It's not bad either. Let's see
And-
what else he draws.
You know, of course, this Timberwolf is a big deal as well.
Yeah. Kill command.
It's too bad that the Savannah Highmane isn't going to die when it runs into this.
Yeah,
could draw a
seriously, he
couple
could
more
use
cards.
the beast there. Okay, Animal Companion.
Look at all these beasts he's going to have. This
I
is
know.
insane. If he gets like a Leok, imagine a Leok for a moment, though.
For once, Leok would be great.
Leok
That's
would
true.
be fantastic. Really, anything would be fantastic. Like, he can play some of these other minions as well. I mean, he has 3 beasts in hand, and he has the potential for a kill command for 5. So
Yeah.
there's like,
Well, let's see. Let's say he gets Huffer, for instance, and then he runs in with that and a dog. That would still leave him like 12 damage on the board
God.
that he could do. You know, you probably want to clear out that Keeper of the Grove, but
He's-
you're going to be doing a lot of damage to the player either way.
he's getting pretty close to like a lethal type situation
Yeah.
here, to be honest.
He's going to just go ahead and use that kill command.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, I want to save the Animal Companion, but that is going to be a ton of damage.
Wow, just so much power coming out of Skip here. You know, those 2 freezing traps really paying off.
Yeah.
Powder has not been able to really build the board at all. What does he even do here? It looks like he's going to cycle his Wild Growth.
You just kind of hope for the best. I guess that's what you do. What does he get out of the excess mana? He
Ooh,
needs a swipe.
I love getting that one.
Yeah. Oh, Force of Nature, he can clear a few things with that.
I think it's not worth playing
Still.
right now. Like, if he could do it with Savage Roar, maybe.
Well, it's 7 health. It's too easy to get bursted down. You know what I mean? All he needs to do is play a beast, kill command, and, you know, hero combo.
Yeah.
So you need a taunt.
Well, let's
Well,
see.
actually, taunt wouldn't even change that, would it?
Well,
both kill
this
commands.
is tough for Powder, man.
Never mind. Let me back up even farther. Both
Okay.
kill commands have already been used, so.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
So that
you're
makes
right.
the taunt really a premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like he's gonna go ahead and Buzzard, draw some more cards here, throw down this Animal Companion.
Yeah, there's Optic Mark.
Wow, that's a good draw, and
kidding.
Leok not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, Leok isn't really needed to be honest,
He, I mean, when you have only beasts out, whatever, it's still never ideal.
Oh,
like no
lethal.
beasts. Ah,
We have
that's it.
lethal.
Yeah.
There
He's
you
got
have it.
the got the Hunter's Mark plus the Unleash the Hounds. And that'll be enough.
Right. That's more than enough damage there
Oh,
to
yeah.
finish this off. Good old Leok. Always wanting that Leok card.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, Leok, the best animal companion you can get, hands down, no debate there.
If I had one animal that was my friend, it would definitely be Leok.
He
Now,
can like pick you up and fly you to places and stuff. Yeah,
give me +1 attack.
he's the best.
All right. Well, game 1 gonna go to Skip here over Powder.
All right, guys, it's time for game number 2, Skip versus Powder, and yeah, the Hunter deck doing what the Hunter deck often does, but now it's Hunter v Hunter, which just like kind of there was that phase where we always saw like Miracle versus Miracle all
Yeah.
the time, or Control Warrior versus Control Warrior, where these days, this meta, it's Hunter versus Hunter, and it's interesting because I feel like there's more variation right now in Hunter decks than there was in like Miracle versus Miracle and
Yeah.
Control Warrior versus
Yeah.
Control Warrior. I actually really like this mirror matchup.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because there is a lot of stuff that you can do with it.
Yeah.
You can go like trapless, you can go aggro, you can go heavy traps, medium traps,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere in between. And we see here actually, like, the decks have a lot of the same cards, yes, but there's definitely a different theme here. In Powders, we see the Undertaker, we see a Leper Gnome mixed in there. We only see 1 trap and 1 Mad Scientist, which I think is completely fine, but it's kind of a more aggressive deck. He even has an additional Eagle Horn Bow, and I think what kind of gives away the aggression quite a bit is 2 Stranglethorn Tiger, but only 1 Savannah Highmane. So that's
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he wants to get the damage
Yeah.
done fast, and this brings up an interesting point. Like, you and I have talked about it many, many times over the like year that we've done this almost now, where Generally in CCGs, the slightly slower deck has an edge over the quicker deck, because you can survive and then build the game to a point where the quicker deck can't maintain.
Yeah.
But in Hunter versus Hunter, I've been thinking about this lately. I think you may actually be at advantage by being the faster Hunter deck because of largely, I'm not quite sure why it is completely, but I think a big part of it has to do with the amount of direct damage that you can get done. Like the hero power is a big part of it, I think.
Sure.
And then like kill commands and stuff, but just in general, I've been noticing this trend lately. When I've been playing, when I've been watching matches, the slightly quicker Hunter deck seems to have that sort of reverse advantage from what we're used to.
Takes that control over something. I like what you're saying. I never really thought of it this way, but definitely there's something to be said there, especially with the Starving Buzzard and Unleash the Hounds combo. If one Hunter deck does start to take control, like if you use, for instance, with Powder's deck, all your early cards get that early damage in, but then Skip starts to take control, you could always just Buzzard combo through and win, because suddenly he has all these minions on board. So I see what you're saying, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth thinking about it, I think. But,
it's an interesting concept for sure.
Yeah, we'll see if it holds true this game. I think it's going to be a really fun match to watch, but I'm done talking about it. It's time to get in and watch the match. Game 2, let's do it. Alright, here we go, guys. Game number 2, Skip versus Powder, Hunter v Hunter. And Skip, once again, with that web spinner in hand number 1. Let's see what Powder mulligans into, but it's, depending on the mulligan for Powder, it's not looking too bad for either player, really.
Yeah, like Web Spinner and Haunted Creeper, obviously both cards you really want to see early on.
Oh, yeah.
He does, in fact, throw back Houndmaster despite having the coins, which is kind of a little bit of interesting piece there. And it looks like, look at Powder. He's actually got Mad Scientist and Freezing Trap. And that's,
again,
just like last game for Skip.
Didn't seem to hurt Skip too much, I suppose, but it is a little bit awkward.
Well, looks like we're going to see the Haunted Creeper coined out, but, this is a pretty normal early game for these two decks.
Yeah, let's see what Skip decides to do on turn 2 here. Ooh, wow, he's got his own Mad Scientist to choose from, but he's got a lot of good options here, I feel like. He's got a couple different choices. I think Mad Scientist is going to be... Yeah, it looks like he's going to go at the... He's thinking about it. I would maybe... I don't know, do you want the traps that early, though, in Hunter v Hunter? I think that's the real question.
The thing is, if you wait too long, he's going to have a flare.
And that's the thing,
And if you wait too long, you might draw your traps anyways. It's better that the trap gets out and gets used than you are, like, really trying to plan it for later, because Hunter is the one deck that's going to remove the trap.
Well, it's a little bit tricky too, because if your Hunter traps do get used early on, sometimes that can actually swing the advantage to your opponent quite a bit as well too. So I don't know. I think the Mad Scientist is still the right way to go, but we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Well, let's see what he goes for here. Looks like his own Mad Scientist may in fact come down. So it's not the most useful card, just a 2/2 basically.
Right, yeah. We know that Freezing Trap is the only trap in the deck for Powder, so yep, just a 2/2.
And let's see here.
Oh, we got the Captain's Parrot with
Thank
the first web spinner. Of course.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's either Captain's Parrot or it's the Beast most of the time.
Those are the two, seriously. Yeah. Taking a look at this hand, looks like he wants an Animal Companion. I don't know how much I like Animal Companion here. I felt like Web Spinner plus the Haunted Creeper might have been better. Because, see, this is what I was a little bit fearing. I guess, do you run in the Hogger and then kill the 2/2? No, I guess he doesn't, but... See, this is such an easy and obvious kill here for Powder, I feel like, is killing that Hogger.
Yeah, I feel like you do have to race a little bit in this matchup.
Sure, that's a good point.
So... I agree with the decision to attack there, but as far as the decision to play the Animal Companion, I think you're right. I think he could have benefited from building his board a little bit more.
Well, let's take a look at what he wants to do here. He's got to really think about the order here, especially if he's going to kill off the 2/2 and the 4/2.
Yeah.
Also, if he wants to play Freezing Trap this turn, he should be playing it before he lets his guy die, because that can hide the fact that you only have one trap in your deck. You can make them think, oh, it couldn't grab the other one because he's got 2 of the same trap in the deck.
Ah, it could be. Yeah. I heard rumors that you can have 2 of the same trap out with Mad Scientist. That sounded ridiculous when I heard it. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I'm not. I'm not so sure about that. But maybe, I mean...
I haven't tested this myself yet, but... Chobra was saying. I don't know.
Oh, well, I guess I'm pretty dumb for not knowing this.
You know, if we're wrong, I would feel dumb too, because he was like very adamant that you could have two of the same trap, and I'm like, I don't think that sounds possible. But to be honest, I
guess I'm gonna have to look into that. I
Yeah.
can't remember this coming up yet. But,
Hunter and Priest are still by far my least played class, so
I
I'll just admit
no.
I don't have enough experience playing this deck to know if that's true or not.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I guess we'll have to check that one out. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was no, but if someone said it can happen, maybe I'm just mistaken.
That's what makes me wonder. It doesn't seem like it should be possible,
No.
but it's Hearthstone. You never know, right?
Yeah,
So,
certainly.
yeah.
Let's take a look here. They both have a trap out.
Right.
So, are you going to go ahead and play a couple minions so that you can make sure you set off the trap? It looks like Skip will throw
I
down
think
that
so, yeah.
very important Captain's Parrot along with
See?
Haunted Creeper.
You just gotta put Captain Greenskins in your Hunter decks now,
Yeah.
just in case, right?
I tell you, it feels that way, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so it looks like he's going to get Spectral Spider back. Not really what you want the trap to do, but
Not a big
such
problem
is
at all.
life.
Yeah.
Looks like he's just go
Four
ahead and-
3, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at his hand. It doesn't have like it's either that or you play a Spectral Spider, which is like a garbage turn.
I know, yeah. Well, I saw somebody actually try to Houndmaster onto a Spectral Spider the other day, and I was like, no. No, it's not a beast.
No,
it
wouldn't that
used
be
to be,
nice?
but now it's a dead beast.
Kind of be crazy. That's another flare here.
Okay. There you go.
Probably could cycle this if he likes, to be honest. It seems
Yeah.
like it's pretty obvious that there's no more,
Well, if the
unless
if
there's
the,
a trap in hand. Not really anything else going on.
Right. If the Mad Scientist doesn't pull a trap, then you can be pretty confident.
Yeah.
But you're right, it might be in the hand too. So better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Well, looks like we may see a Lothar. This is a lot of
Yeah.
damage coming down from Powder right now.
It is, yeah. And he wants to equalize that life total as much as he can. 4 damage is a good start. There's the
Well, that's
Lothar for his opponent too.
Yeah, it's a lot more for the next turn coming up
Yeah.
here. And in fact, the thing is, he just can't remove this 4/3. So even though he
Yeah.
gets a 5/5 out, like, what is this really doing for him?
He can't remove anything right now. So
No.
if his opponent wants, that's 9 damage incoming. I feel like now Powder does have to deal with the board a little bit, but he's got Unleash, so we'll see if he draws a buzzard. It could be pretty
he
good.
can though because of Lothar. So next
Oh yeah,
turn,
you're
like,
right. You're right. Obviously.
next turn, I'm pretty sure that. Wait, what is the plan here by attacking that? Oh, that's kind of interesting. He wants. I guess that does give him more damage long term and allows him to take out Houndmaster the next turn. But yeah,
Brave
it's-
to do.
It certainly is.
He knows that Unleash isn't a possibility though, so you know,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it at some point, that's gonna be the point to do it.
For sure. Looks like he's going to take out the 5/5 with the 5/5 here, but you know he's got that Savannah Highmane out, which is such an important card.
Yeah,
You know he only has one freezing trap left in the deck to actually get rid of that too.
He got it out on a really good turn as well. His opponent's board is relatively weak. He doesn't have a lot of cards in hand, so that's when you want to do it. You know.
Well, let's take a look here. Looks like we're going to have. Well, that Timberwolf is a pretty darn good
And
play.
the Timberwolf drew him a second buzzard even, and there's the Hungry Crab.
Oh, thank
yes.
God.
Dude, he went Captain's Parrot into Hungry Crab. Sickest web spinner draws ever, man.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty strong right there. It's about
That's
the worst two
impressive.
you could ever get.
It's like Trump's the only one who's actually happy to see Hungry Crab come out of that.
Yeah, don't remind me. Well, looks like he's going to put on a good amount of damage here. Of course, that Savannah Highmane's still pretty scary to deal with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And with this Unleash, unfortunately, he doesn't have a buzzard with it.
Yeah.
But still, that's
He's
that's
got
a lot.
He's got to clear, you know, and I mean that's the important thing I suppose with this Unleash is that he can kind of stem the flow of damage anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually deal 15 damage here. Not quite enough, so he does have to do that clear.
Yeah, you got to go for the safest bet this time around.
Do you kill this crap? That's my question to you, Doa.
You know, I don't think you're. I think you do with the I keep saying axe with this, but it's very much a bow. I don't know. I play too much.
It feels like an
man.
axe.
Yeah.
It feels like an axe. I understand.
I don't know if I'd play this Undertaker though. I don't think I would. I'd
Your
be a
opponent
little
already
bit.
used-
He didn't use both Unleashes.
No,
did
he didn't.
Yeah. Still though, at 14 health, like playing that and giving him an extra Unleash card might be like a game-changing thing.
But you
so it's
could-
a little bit dangerous.
You could power it up +1 next turn with this Haunted Creeper at least.
Yeah.
So that's an additional damage. So that's like right now 3, 4, 5, 11, 12,
I
13,
guess-
14 damage we can see if he plays that Undertaker. So he needs to draw into one more like Death Rattle minion or something like that to be able to possibly end the game.
I guess I'd call it a calculated risk here, being at 14 health, but it looks like it's going to be paying off for him. Yeah.
Well, alright, so this is, if I'm looking down that board and he just played the Undertaker, 2 cards in hand, I know one is a Spectral Spider. I'm thinking there's a decent chance I'm dead next turn.
Yeah, and so would you go ahead and just like flare first
Yes.
then, just to see what you draw? I think
think
that's
I
what
would-
you kind of have to do.
I think Flare, it's the cheapest way to draw one extra card that can change everything. If Flare doesn't get you anything, I think you have to go Buzzard into Animal Companion, and that might just be it. You might just lose.
He just doesn't have enough mana to flare and like draw into anything that he can end the game with, I believe.
Yeah,
because
he can't end it,
yeah,
but maybe he can get something here. Like, for instance, let's say he grabs Unleash.
Mhm.
He may go ahead and clear most of the board.
yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
definitely a possibility.
That's what you kind of have to do. And
Oh,
he's going to
let's-
go with Animal Companion first.
Okay, so it's like kind of a gamble. Like, he sees a lot of damage on the board, but he
Oh,
says,
okay.
okay, you're going to barely not kill me next turn, and I'm going to kill you the turn after that.
Yeah, that's the idea anyway.
Yeah, because he has Leroy in hand, so like just attacking with the Huffer
Mm-hmm.
actually can give him enough damage to win the game next turn.
Yeah,
right?
but
He's got
some-
13.
It does put some pressure on the opponent for sure.
Mhm.
Let's see, the damage out of... So it's 11 damage on the board right now for Powder. So he would need to draw basically into a kill command to end the game.
Yeah, well, for Powder, let's
Yeah.
see, 6, 7, 8.
There's a couple things.
Okay,
you
he
can draw
takes
too.
out the Undertaker. That was actually.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you would do something like that.
I think it's a good idea. Hunter's Mark, not too helpful
No.
for Powder. Gotta clear that 4-1, I guess.
Gonna go to face as well.
Yeah.
I think you really swing with the bow.
I think he
Just gonna
already
save that
did,
for one
yeah.
more turn. Well, he didn't swing with the bow yet.
Oh, there he is.
Okay,
yeah.
there it is.
I
Yeah,
was
see, this is
looking into the future again. Yeah.
Couldn't have quite killed him no matter what. But
Yep.
let's take a look here. We have 11, 12, 13. There's a good chance that he can actually draw into lethal here.
Yeah, we'll see if he does. Flare first and Unleash.
And that's
That
enough.
Do it.
That is
yeah.
lethal,
There you go.
right? That's 4, 10,
I
15.
believe so.
Yep,
11
that's
plus
it.
2, yeah.
Well, good draw.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. Wow. A lot of hounds, and that is it. So Skip will take the second game as well with this Hunter deck, going up 2-0 in the series. Not a bad start at all for Skip. Well, it's time, guys, to go into game number 3. Let's check out what decks that Skip and Powder are using. We know what Skip's using already.
Yeah.
He's got 2 wins already on this mid-range Hunter, but now Powder's bringing out the Zoo Warlock.
Yeah, and this is super close to what we saw Skip play last week. In the King of the Hill. In fact, it's got like 1 less Mortal Coil, 1 less Argent Squire, and he's added in an Owl, and I believe the Lotheb. So just a little bit different. Obviously owls are seeing a little bit of a resurgence right now. There's just so much death rattle play going on.
Silence in general is really at a
Yeah.
premium. That's why we see like Spellbreakers popping up in Warrior and Paladin
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
too. And yeah, I think Silence is a big mechanic right now. And actually, I still
Gotta
feel like
agree with
it's a little bit underused even, I think, right now. I think we're going to see even more come in as the meta kind of develops. But this deck, it does what Zoo does. It's strong and builds the board. There's a ton of buffing in this. I think there's a good chance you could get a big turn off with Echoing Ooze.
Yeah.
But do you think it's enough to take down this mid-range Hunter?
I do. I actually really do. I would favor Powder's deck in this next matchup because I look at this Hunter deck and I think of the things that really help out against Zoo, and I don't see them as much. For instance, there is no Explosive Trap. I think that's one of the most important cards in the match. If you have Explosive Trap, then suddenly a lot of minions can get taken out. But with a deck like this, he can populate the board so quickly. He can clear your minions out rather quickly as well, and just cards like Freezing Trap are not really that great against this. What are you going to Freezing Trap? And then he just attacks with an Echoing Ooze.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, I mean, I guess, later on, maybe I use this again, maybe I don't. It doesn't even matter. So I'm actually definitely favoring Powder here. I think he's going to start a comeback.
He's certainly got what he needs, and I'd like to see a comeback too, because the more games, the merrier, in my opinion. Let's see if Powder can start that comeback, or if Skip will put himself 1 game away from becoming a 2-time champion on the iHeartU King of the Hill. Let's get in the game. Alright, here we go, guys. Game number 3, Skip versus Powder, and Powder trying to start the comeback with Zula. Certainly could work out well, and the hand for Skip, not as great looking pre-mulligan as some of the other ones we've seen him get.
Well, it looks like he's considering the Eagle Horn Bow plus Freezing Trap keep. I really agree with throwing them both back.
Me too, yeah.
But if he kept them, at least that can kind of control the early game. So it's worth thinking about.
It always feels a little bit scary, though, to be controlling Zoolock with weapons, because you're still taking damage, so it's not ideal. This is still a bit awkward, but at least he's got, the Haunted Creeper that he can bring out, and the Animal Companion as well. It's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, Animal Companion might do some work. We'll see.
Yeah.
And a couple Haunted Creepers, that's pretty solid. That's each one of these kind of counts as 3 damage.
Yeah,
so he should be able to start controlling the board at least a little bit.
Yep. Wouldn't be too worried. He's even got the golden Haunted Creepers, man. Spinning the dust.
Ooh, with Powder, though, look at this.
Yeah, awkward hand.
The fact that he didn't have a drop on turn 2 is really painful.
Oh, definitely.
And he life taps into the Argent Scar. Just not what he wanted to see.
That's just like adding insult to injury, basically, at this point.
Yeah.
So 2 Haunted Creepers, and that's already a pretty decent board built up by Skip. Like you said, they do basically count for 3 damage. It's hard for Zoo to get through that sometimes.
Well, certainly, and looks like he will go ahead and run in, make sure he has 2 guys to attack next turn. Now, he has a couple things. Oh, that's not a good draw either. If he had a 2-drop, he could consider a Mortal Coil here, but
yeah.
Looks like obviously this Harvest Golem going to be a much better play than Mortal Coil Hope. That's not the best combo.
Now, I feel like there could be something said for the Shattered Sun Cleric. He was hovering over it for a second. It would basically make his opponent trade more than 1 creature to get rid of either of his minions. But I think when you're talking about a longer game, and thinking a few turns ahead, the Harvest Golem is going to be a better play. But
yeah.
I think the Shattered Sun Cleric is worth mentioning at least.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Ooh, a Leok comes out here.
Leok's been the hero today, man.
Yeah.
He didn't really need him, I guess. But
doesn't
still.
change much of the board here, but
it's true.
I guess it puts a little bit more damage on his opponent.
Yeah. In this situation, Leok still looks flashy anyway.
Yeah. Obviously, he could take out the Harvest Golem, but that's not a very good play. I would definitely just go to face with 4 damage here.
The Leok art makes it look like he's yelling, So it's like Leok's just like yelling at the other minions to do more damage. It's like, come on, guys.
Especially the gold version.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, he does decide to take that out, and looks like, okay, going to draw into another card here. Probably going to see a Harvest Golem come down and a Soulfire, if I had to guess.
I think it's a good turn to Soulfire.
Oh, we must cleanse the
Okay, this is actually completely fine as well. Just keep him alive.
Yeah, if you Soulfire, you can get this opportunity to clear the board and keep both your creatures alive, right?
Yeah. Still a solid hand there.
Yeah.
4 powder to work with. Taking a look over at Skip's side of the board.
Oh, he drew the Unleash, so turn 5, if Powder puts out another minion or 2, could be a pretty good combo for Skip.
It's like, okay, he's gonna... I actually quite like this.
Me too, yeah. If you've got 2, why not?
I guess the one problem with this is he's definitely gonna drop one of his own minions to kill this 2/1 Buzzard, right? So that's kind of an issue.
That's true, though, but going into turn 5 against Zoo, you kind of expect them to just drop their hand unless they have a Doomguard, So I'd say it's an okay calculated risk.
He's considering, he's not going to drop this Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah.
Knows that there's a decent chance there's actually a Buzzard in hand.
Oh, and you're going to go board clear, too. There's no reason to buff it and put that extra minion out yet. So, still going to be 3 draw for this combo if he decides to do it. But no, just Loatheb.
Wow, okay. The Loatheb actually isn't going to do much this turn, to be honest.
I actually think Loatheb would be better board clear than Unleash would be in that particular case because of the health that was on the minions. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
The buffing ended up making that not the case, but from the perspective of Skip, could kind of see it.
Well, this was a really strong turn from Powder to be able to play his own Loatheb. Look at how weak this hand is now for his opponent.
Yeah.
That is really tough, and his life total is starting to get low. In fact, is he just going to drop Leroy and run into Loatheb?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to.
That makes his combo pretty good, Noah.
Yeah, it could. We'll see if he lives long enough to really use it.
Yeah,
he may get that combo off, but wow, look at this. It's going to be an amazing combo, but a lot of damage coming in.
Yes, indeed. This is going to be one of the biggest unleashes ever.
Well, it's like
it's
theoretically
actually
the biggest unleash ever.
Yeah, so I guess you're right about that.
You actually can't have a bigger unleash than this, yes.
Well, this can basically clear everything out. And the thing is, he has a Stone Tusk Boar as well.
Yeah.
He's actually going to overdraw and not get enough minions and everything. This is like kind of funny. Probably should play Hunter's Mark first.
Yep, I think you definitely want to get a card out of your hand. I agree. Because, isn't he going to burn one if he does this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would
Okay, he
have
knows
burned
it.
one if he hadn't
Yep.
used that. So it's just smart to do that first. You know you're going to use that on the Doomguard no matter what.
The hounds have truly been unleashed.
Oh my god, he drew another Unleash here.
Whoa!
Well, he can't play it this turn, so not the biggest deal.
Yeah.
We're going to sit here and watch him draw cards for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. Take a break, go grab a coffee. When you get back, he grabs a Timberwolf.
Wow. Imagine the
Whoa.
damage you could put to his opponent's face.
I know. Imagine if he would have had enough mana for 2 unleashes. He could have nearly ended the game right there, but gets a good clear either way.
Well, let's see what he's going to do here. Does drop the boar for yet another card.
Yeah.
Has another boar in hand here.
Yeah, he's just gonna build up a really big hand. It looks like.
God, the amount of cards drawn here by Skip is just madness.
I know. Yeah. Miracle Rogue what?
Look at his hand too.
A lot of damage, man. I mean, he's got another Unleash. He's got 2 kill commands. He's got the Timberwolf. He's got a way to do a ton of damage. Unfortunately for him, he's down to 7 life. So, being that he can't clear out this Harvest Golem, if there's a Doomguard drawn, he's gonna still die.
Yeah, Doomguard is pretty badass. Let's
Void
see.
Walker.
Ooh, not quite there, but you know what? This is a pretty solid draw anyways.
Yeah, not the worst draw at all, actually. You can take out the Buzzard, and he's got a taunt to kind of hide
I would skip
behind.
that. Ooh, I think
so?
I would have gone to face there. To be, I mean, it's a little bit hard to say. I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but my inclination was go to face. He has all the cards in his deck. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
need to draw more here. It's not going to
Fair
change the
enough.
outcome of the game.
Do you think he maybe was a little bit more worried about the fact that there was enough to kill the Void Walker already on the board? At 20 health, you know, I don't
Possibly,
see why you would be that worried about that, though. So
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I just
I
want
agree.
damage
I
to the
agree.
face, because then a Soulfire couldn't even kill him. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
Would have been pretty easy to kill him. But, I mean, let's take a look and see how this works out for him. You know, we've now got a Houndmaster in hand. I'd be really surprised if we don't see that played this turn.
Yeah, definitely.
I think probably attacking this Timberwolf and then Houndmastering your other guy and attacking face is probably a really strong play.
Or attacking the Direwolf Alpha, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
I don't know what I said, but that's what I meant.
The Timberwolf, which is on
Oh,
Skip's
yes,
side,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Too many wolves, you know?
Too many wolves.
Yeah.
Not enough time.
That's right.
Oh, looks like... Huh. This I wasn't really expecting if he plays his trap.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Freezing Trap comes out,
I
I
guess,
guess that this
saying,
kind of just keeps him alive, right? Like, even the Doomguard is not a kill this turn.
Right, but I feel like you see that trap and you definitely attack first, you know? We'll see. Or maybe you just don't attack, actually.
That's
Yeah, I think you
possible,
just
but
pass the turn.
2 kill commands in hand. I think he actually just kills him this turn. Hold on.
Can he get through the taunts? That's the question.
Let's see. He doesn't have mana to do everything.
Yeah, because he can't... Well, he can unleash and kill command twice. That would give him 3... and he...
2 kill commands. He doesn't have any unleashes, but he has the bow.
Yeah.
So, I would have liked the Houndmaster just a bit better, but let's see here. It's just kind of adding. There's actually like a lot of math to do in a situation like this.
Right. Well, it's going to take out 1 taunt. Take out the other with that. Yeah. Bow through to the face. Unless he decides to take out the 3.
Wow. Okay, so
Whoa.
he actually brings himself to 5.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, he has that trap down, right?
Yep.
So
that means
this
the
he
Doomguard's
can't
not gonna
die.
do it. Yeah.
Unless it's like soul. He already used 1 Soulfire, so there's like
Right.
no way to kill him this turn, really.
He actually can't die.
And that means he's dead.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, no attack, no defense from Powder.
Not the greatest draws here, Doa.
Not really, no. That should be it. Yeah, hero power plus bow plus kill command. He needs to
Wait, he
play
needs
a
a minion, though.
beast, though. Yeah, he needs a cheaper beast up before he can do that. Mad Scientist is not going to do it.
Oh wait, no, that's still enough mana. Yeah, he has a 5 mana beast, so that's 5 and 7, 10. Yep, he's got it.
Okay, oh yeah. All right.
All right, well,
There
kind
we
of a
go.
crazy one. Skip pulls it out once again there.
Yeah, we
Well
may
played.
be in for a quick match. We'll see.
Yeah.
He's up 3-0 already. Skip kind of crushing in this match. GG. Well, guys, this could be it. Skip up 3-0 with his Hunter deck, but this is interesting because Powder is bringing in a Bloodlust Shaman deck. It's been around here and there. We haven't really seen Bloodlust in competitive play that much. It does pop up in tournaments every once in a while, and I feel like DKMR has always been like a team that's like been a proponent of the Bloodlust Shaman deck, which I am totally on board with. I love this
I
card.
know that you love Bloodlust.
Absolutely.
There's not anyone that loves Bloodlust like you love it. You have the lust for
I
blood
think
in your system.
I think some of these guys, man, might love it a little bit more than me, but I'm right up there with them.
Yeah, well, taking a look at the deck, like again, there's no explosive traps, which could help against this because there's so many tokens in play. But
yeah,
obviously that would like trigger Nerubian Eggs and give you more Haunted Creepers and stuff like that. But it's kind of it's a neat deck. No doubt about it. It definitely has a lot of explosive potential there.
Yeah, and I think the concept of Token Shaman, which is basically what this is, has been around since the very beginning of Hearthstone. That was like one of the first decks I actually built in like the first week of the beta.
Certainly.
Was a Token Shaman deck that ran Bloodlust, and I think the principle is very sound. I think it didn't really work pre-Nax, but now that you've got all these side benefits with the Death Rattles that also give you tokens, you can have that token element in a Shaman deck. But you're not 100% relying on it, which is what I think makes this deck viable. But it's cool that Powder is, putting it all on the line with this, because basically he needs to win 4 games in a row with this deck now, which it seems hard to believe, but if he does, it'll be like one of the greatest feats in Hearthstone history.
Certainly.
It's pretty awesome.
I think it's going to be a tough one, though, Doa. I think
so
maybe
too.
all 3 of his other decks are a little bit better suited to this
Probably,
task, but,
yeah.
Hey, if he gets the right draw, right, anything can happen in Hearthstone.
Sure enough. Well, let's see if the miracle happens without the Miracle Rogue deck and the Powder can start the comeback, or if Skip is going to close it out 4-0. Let's get in the game and see what happens. Alright guys, here we go, and what could be, surprisingly enough, the last game of the day here between Skip and Powder.
Yeah.
Powder putting it on the line with the Bloodlust Shaman, a bold move, we'll see if it pays off. Not the strongest hand early on, but that Mad Scientist, never a bad start for Skip.
Nice start card there. Well, the Earth Shock's like pretty decent. Like if they get a Web Spinner, that's a great counter to it. So.
True enough, yeah. I feel like if you get them to Earth Shock your Mad Scientist, though, you feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, without the spell power, it doesn't even kill it, and it is an Earth Shock that's out of the way when like your Savannah Hymens or something comes out,
Looks like he's gonna open up with a Nerubian Egg.
Yep.
Pretty solid hand overall. I'd be pretty happy with that. The hand on Skip, a little bit clunky at the moment, right? He doesn't want Leroy yet. He doesn't want Lotheb yet. I guess he does have an Animal Companion and Mad Scientist, so and those are both good starter cards.
Yeah, I feel like he's got an okay curve to move up to. It's not as good as some of the other games, but it's not the worst either.
Wow. There's some decisions to be made for sure.
I'd do it, yeah.
Would you Earth Shock with it?
Oh yeah, actually, that might be a little bit too much, but he's gonna go for it.
Well, let's see, he wants that 4/4 out, which is actually gonna get the +2 as well, so that's kind of scary.
The Nerubian, the 4/4 costs 4 if it gets bounced back to your hand. Do you know what that costs offhand? I've never had it bounce, so.
Oh, the 4/4 costs 3.
3. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's not so bad then.
That
So
bounced a few times.
maybe I would have let that get through then, but I don't think it's a bad idea. Maybe now because of that Haunted Creeper, that Earth Shock would have been a little bit more tempting, but.
Well,
then again, it would have got a bounce either way. I mean, it got a couple cards out of his hand, so.
So, pretty solid way to deal with it here. He does
I
have
think
this totem still, so there's a lot of different options that he actually has. I think the Feral Spirit is actually like a really good one. This makes it really hard to actually kill the totem, and that's a lot of damage that's being threatened.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, he can still like go for the egg. He can even do Defender of Argus if he wants to next turn, and all of this is setting him up for that strong Fire Elemental turn 6. No combo in the hand for Skip, so he can't coin into that or anything right now. And he did already use a Hunter's Mark, I believe, right?
Yes.
That was a Hunter's Mark, wasn't it? I couldn't remember if it was that or
Yeah. What do you think of possibly coining out Lotheb here? I don't really like it, but the only other play I see is Animal Companion.
Yeah, I mean, Animal Companion seems kind of lackluster,
Yeah.
but Lotheb, I think it's probably your best bet, but it's probably going to die too, But you're thinking maybe I can get him to use his minions to clear Lotheb.
Exactly. It's like, and without a spell there, like he has to do something.
Yeah.
He literally can't cast any spell in the whole game. have to cost some negative mana at this point, negative like 2 mana or something because
Yeah.
of this overload. So
Would you now, being that this is a bloodless shaman deck though, with powder, I wonder if you're just gonna ignore Loatheb altogether and just go for face and be like,
it is a
yeah.
possibility, I guess.
Because I think with Bloodlust, you really can't play around Unleash. You have to just get a big board because you want to. You know, you want to have that for Bloodlust, and you know if they end up unleashing, oh well. You know that's just kind of how it is. So
Well,
I wonder if
let's
he's
see
gonna
what he
clear or
does
not.
with that. Okay, well, hits one of the spiders.
The spider. Oh, one of them, and then going to face. Huh.
Yeah, he doesn't want the other wolf to die too easily. And I mean, I think you have to keep the taunts out as long as possible when you have this
Yeah.
Mana Tide Totem. It's just so powerful.
You definitely don't trade it for Loatheb, that's for sure. Yeah. There is the Unleash, and that will handle the Taunt Totems really easily. He's going to be able to clear the Mana Tide as well, but at least he doesn't get the draws off it.
You know, this hurts a little bit.
Hurts a lot,
'Cause
actually.
To have to hit that Mana Tide and say, like, he wants to kill the Flame Tongue so badly, but
Yeah.
the Mana Tide is just so powerful.
Well, especially where you didn't get any draws off your Unleash, you kind of need to prevent them from getting more draws,
If-
you know?
If he were to hit the Mana Tide, and then the Fire Elemental comes on, that's what he's worried about right now. He's like, oh god, if I do
Yeah.
that is just such a turn.
Yeah, you can make an argument for that, definitely.
So he leaves the Mana Tide, not caring about that one more card as opposed to the Fire Elemental just ending the game here.
I think going into turn 6, you're right, that's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Yep, deciding to forego the Undertaker just to get the Defender of Argus out there and just get a few more taunts on the board.
Yeah, I mean, this is really solid, right? He
Yeah.
gets another draw, he clears the one beast that's actually out there, and
Yeah,
you never really
forces-
want to run into this 1/3 egg.
And he forces the 4/4 from the egg as well, too, so yeah. By giving that taunt, that's kind of hard to avoid.
Well, let's see what he gets out of this Animal Companion. Probably looking for a Huffer.
With the way today's been going.
Oh, okay, this is actually pretty solid.
Misha makes the first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's not a Leok. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
That's true, yeah. You know, I played Hunter for like 2 days solid, and I got Leok every single time except for twice. One Huffer, one Misha, and all Leok, all my other games.
Leok's pretty great.
Yeah.
I like Leok too. Yeah, you're right.
I was so happy when this happened. Like, my joy was just palpable.
I bet it was. Well, with this 4/4 out, kind of annoying to deal with at the moment, but you know what? Oh,
wow.
god, he has
helps,
X.
Yeah, never mind.
He has the Fire Elemental as well. Like, I think the
Yeah.
Fire Elemental is actually a better play because it sets you up with a 4/4.
Either way, you can certainly deal with this board pretty easily this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
There you
I mean, Loatheb is probably going to have to go ahead and run into the 6/5. We'll see, though.
Another Unleash.
Oh.
And he could Leroy Unleash this turn, but what would that really get him?
No,
Not
I
a
like the
lot.
Buzzer Unleash, though. I think that's
Oh,
really
yeah, of
solid.
course,
It leaves
yeah.
him 2 mana so that he can possibly use something else. And with
Yeah.
Buzzer Unleash, he could actually kill off the Fire Elemental, kill off the 2/3. This is if he draws nothing good.
Yeah.
And then still play a Freezing Trap that would get rid of this 4/4 and kind of equalize the board. But let's see what he draws from it, because I'd be kind of surprised if he doesn't go for Buzzer Unleash right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like the way to go.
Oh my god, he's actually going to just go
Whoa.
for Face, man.
Is he? Is he
Yeah,
gonna
he
actually
is.
race? He is. There's Leroy, and I suppose you gotta pair that with Unleash because there's too much of a chance that Freezing Trap, and yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and clear, I guess.
Oh, you know what? This actually, now this makes a lot more sense to me.
'cause
He's
Buzzer-
setting up Buzzer next turn
Yeah,
with
that
less
makes a lot.
damage.
Yeah, Buzzard Unleash is still a thing here,
Yeah.
so
That was smart, actually.
it's even gonna be better.
I'll give that one to you, Skip. That was a good move.
Skip wins. He wins. He wins the argument.
Well, still, yeah, I mean, Powder still has a really strong position here. He's trying to think, does he play another minion?
You know, I think it's safe not to. Although it is a little bit surprising that, you know, if Unleash wasn't used last turn, I wonder if he's thinking, well, I wonder if he has it in his hand. Well, he knows now. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you know what? He gets to draw 4 cards off that. Pretty solid. He has Hunter's Mark already. So let's see what else he draws off of this.
Yeah. Another Buzzard, another Mad Scientist. Ooh, Houndmaster as well,
Not
too.
really the greatest cards I want to see him. Not surprised that he's going to go ahead and flare instantly.
Yep, flare right away. There's another Freezing Trap. Now we can at least Hunter's Mark this 4/4. So
Yeah, I'm
that's
definitely going
something
to
that
see
you can
that.
get through anyway.
I imagine he's going to take out the Whelps as well.
Yeah.
And he might even play the Secret, to be honest. I think the Freezing Trap is a fine play.
Yeah. just a little bit awkward to freezing trap a Defender of Argus because then it gives him, more taunt coming in.
It is, but your Buzzard may live to the next turn then.
That
and
is
if you
true.
draw one more beast and your Buzzard lives the next turn, that's huge because you already have a Buzzard in hand. You can actually just like refill your entire hand and you're suddenly like in a really good spot.
Yep, and he does play that trap.
Alright, and of
Don't
course
worry, it's
Powder's
not
played
smite.
against us enough. He knows exactly what it is.
Yeah. And he's just going to buff up both of these guys too, so that even if that is explosive trap, well, he knows it's not, I guess, but even if it were, it wouldn't kill anything.
And I imagine we'll see Rockbiter here to take out that Buzzard. We cannot let that Buzzard remain.
Oh, definitely.
And
You
of
know,
course,
now with 2 Unleashes, he can just do whatever he wants.
yeah, this is where you just stop caring about what the Hunter can do and play out your hand. So
Yep.
this is a super strong board right now for Powder.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really working out. It's pretty interesting.
Now, let's take a look here. What can actually be done? Like, he has the Buzzard, but he only has one beast. Does he Buzzard?
You know, if you're gonna do it, it might as well be now, maybe. Because let's see, if he does that, he still has enough to Houndmaster too.
You know, one of the problems here, I think, is the fact that this 1/1 totem's out. This makes the freezing trap in Skip's hand
yeah.
just so weak. So I think this is why he's doing this. Because there just wasn't that many other good plays. But hey, look at this. He actually draws a web spinner, so that's a
Wow.
great draw.
Okay. 4 mana left over. Does he just go ahead and taunt up the web spinner, maybe? What do you think?
I think I would consider taunting the dog.
Mm.
Like, if he taunts the dog,
He
he
can
can
kill
run
one
into
of
one
the
of these 2/3s.
Undertakers.
Yeah, that's like pretty good.
Getting rid of
He
one
even
of those
could
is
go to
pretty good.
face. I mean, I think it's probably better to get rid of the Undertaker. If your
I-
opponent is Undertaker,
oh, yeah.
he has a lot of ways to clump him.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta get rid of that. But you're gonna lose it, but at least one Undertaker's off the board. Here comes that Defender of Argus, though.
Yeah, and, well, Defender of Argus, at least he can take out Houndmaster with that if that's the way he chooses to go about things.
Oh, look at this. You may decide to just, like, maybe hex the Houndmaster.
Ooh,
and
I
then
wouldn't
get a
like
token
that.
out of that.
I don't like that. I think this
It's
is
a little
just
bit
Argus.
awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, this makes
There we go.
good sense. Because I was going to say, that's like, that's not good mana efficiency, really, and you really want all your minions out that you can get out right now, I think.
I want him to prioritize for Bloodlust, you know? There you go.
Ah, okay. Hey, I mean, that's something that definitely could happen. A Bloodlust right now is like, let's see, 12 plus 8, 11.
12 plus 11 is
23.
23. Yeah.
That's basically a win.
Either way, he's in good shape.
Wow.
King Crush!
Oh god, I
whoa.
didn't even notice that he got King Crush.
I didn't either. I think that happened a little bit quicker than the
Yeah.
Interact. At least I didn't see it.
Well, that's a pretty crazy card to have out there suddenly.
Not bad.
Alright, so he's actually clearing the board and fighting back really well.
There's a Bloodlust, yep. And you gotta imagine that Hex is gonna be his King
Yeah.
Crush, I think, yeah.
That'd be pretty amazing if he did not.
Yeah. There we go.
I think you decide what you want to do with your attackers first.
I mean, he could...
Especially since you have a 1/1 totem.
Yeah, he could clear it too with the 2/2s, but I think he's gonna Hex.
And that's a beast, of course, so you do actually want to kill
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's something people forget sometimes.
Yep.
And a Houndmaster was drawn, so that
Whoa.
beast could have made a difference.
Yeah, you could still go ahead and Houndmaster onto the Savannah High main, but let's take a look.
Savannah Highmane's so good after they play a Hex.
Yeah, it is.
He does play 2 of them in here.
It is. And you
yeah,
can be
it's-
pretty sure Skip's not expecting Bloodlust. I wouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe against the DKMR guys I would, but...
Yeah, well, you know, I think he could guess that there could be a Bloodlust in the deck, at
He
least with the
did.
amount of Death Rattle he's seen.
I mean, he did also see a Violet Teacher, too, so
Yeah,
I feel like that's
yeah.
kind of a giveaway as well.
It is a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, he plays the Animal Companion first. You know, one thing I'm really sad about here for Skip is that Freezing Trap feels so weak. Because
Yeah.
we keep seeing these Searing Totems pop up.
Well, that's the tricky thing with playing against Shaman, is that they're going to a lot of times have these little throwaway minions, you know?
Very much so.
Oh, there
He's
we
got to
go.
get some more of those little throwaway minions, though.
Yeah, you can Rockbiter onto, well, you can Rockbiter onto 1/1 if you want to clear
Yeah,
the 4/4.
Definitely the better play there.
Yeah.
Probably just totem up with this, I would imagine.
Yep.
Still considering some things. You know, you've got to be careful when you're not going to have a taunt out possibly, and he has a 6/5 Savannah Highmane. Like, but to be fair, we already saw Leroy used.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
both
not.
Unleash the Hounds,
Yeah,
too.
the explosions are almost all gone. This is.
He's really only got to worry about the kill commands as far as big spontaneous
Yeah.
damage go at this point.
But hey, if he has 2 kill commands, that's very close to lethal.
I think he's wondering about bloodlusting this turn too, because he would do a lot of damage, and he would also keep his minions alive too. So he's like, maybe if I bloodlust, I can get him low enough that I can finish easier. But I think the safer play is definitely to totem after doing this.
I like saving the Bloodlust too because he gets a minion from that and he totems this turn. So like he's actually gonna have 1 more minion next turn, maybe. I mean, obviously this Van Heimen can deal with something, but
Right.
there's a lot of potential for the Bloodlust the next turn as well.
I agree. I mean, I think it's really safe with no explosive traps in the deck, with all the cards that have been already used by Skip. Powder can feel really confident that he's going to keep all these minions alive.
Now here's the
Or most
question:
of them, anyway.
Are you gonna go to face with this?
Well, what does clearing the board really give you? I suppose, you know, with an 8/7 taunt. Yeah, I suppose you go to face.
Well, he's just trying to set up lethal.
You got to play to
that's-
win, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what we see here.
Wow, with that lightning bolt though.
Wow, that
I'm
Bloodlust
ready
is more
to
like
work.
it.
I know, but if he gets,
God.
let's see,
I'm
that's
ready to
4
work.
plus
This is
3.
just lethal. Like,
Let's see, he's got a lot of damage
yeah, that's a
either way.
lot of damage though. That's
6
13.
plus 10
Instructions.
plus
17,
12,
yeah,
22
that's-
damage. Yeah. Wow,
Well,
that's it. Bloodlust. Bloodlust. And Powder starting a little bit of a comeback. Still needs to win 3 in a row, but that's a strong start. Well, guys, it wasn't looking like we'd go to a Game 5 here in this match so much, but here we are, Game 5. Powder and his Bloodlust Shaman deck coming up big, and that was a weird game. It was fun to watch, but you don't see a lot of Shaman games like that.
No,
Yeah,
not too
very
many.
interesting deck.
Yeah, you did a very good job with that. Bloodlust was
Yeah.
pretty sick there at the end. Good job by Powder to
Definitely.
finally pick up that win against that really strong Hunter deck of Skip. Great play. But now he's going up against the same Druid deck that Skip played last week,
Yep.
but also the same Druid deck that I'm sure all of you have played against a lot in the
Oh
ladder.
yeah, this is like the flavor of the month. The Druid
Oh, yes.
deck really, it's so strong. It's flavor
It's
of the
so
month for a
strong.
reason, man. I believe this was the one that was originally invented by Strife Crow, but then used by Kalento famously to hit #1 on EU ladder and all that. And now
Oh, okay.
everybody plays it, and it's a great deck. It's really cool.
It's-
I love playing it myself. I love watching it.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to be frank with you, Doa, I really think it's going to take out this Shaman deck. We see only 1 Lightning Storm. He's not going to be able to clear all the stuff that this puts out. And the thing is, Savage Roar is just, in most situations, a better and quicker Bloodlust.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to talk about a little bit the relationship with Bloodlust against Savage Roar, and why we see a lot of Savage Roar but not a lot of Bloodlust. And the reasons for that, of course, is that you can pair it with the combo and Druid, of course. It's a cheaper spell. It doesn't give you as much attack, but the fact that it's 2 mana cheaper makes it so much more
Yeah.
usable. And on top of all of that, Druid has Innervate, whereas Shaman doesn't really have a way to boost out that
Yeah.
Bloodlust faster, you know? So with all of that considered, I mean, that's why you just don't see a lot of Bloodlust. You do see a lot of Savage Roar. It is the superior card, hands down, and I think this Druid deck is going to do really well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tough matchup here for Powder. But if he can
Definitely.
get through this Druid deck, we'll see what else he can do with it.
Yeah, I mean, he still has stuff to worry about, like Miracle Rogue and all that coming
Probably,
out.
yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, the more games, the merrier. So can Skip close it out here and get a 4-1 victory over Powder, or will the comeback continue? Let's get in the game and find out. All right, this is it. Once again, do or die time for Powder. Can the Bloodlust Shaman win 2 games in a row?
Well, he gets a Lightning Storm to start. I would
He
definitely
does.
keep that unless you think you're playing against like a ramp Druid.
I think you always have to assume the aggro option, you know.
Yeah.
You always have to assume the most aggressive deck is coming out. So I think the Lightning Storm is a good keep.
Yeah, an okay hand
Yeah.
really for both players. Definitely a bit better for Skip having Innervate.
Oh, yeah.
And a few small minions in here.
Yeah, I feel like I generally like it a lot better for Skip, because the thing with this Druid deck and what makes it so scary is that your minions stick around. Even if you lose the first one, you know, you're still going to have the tokens, right?
Yeah.
From the Death Rattle, and that's why, like, the Savage Roar is so scary. This deck wins on turn 6 a surprising amount of times.
Yes, it certainly does that.
Yeah.
Now, we see the Spectral Spider come down. He could have innervated out the Shade of Noxramas.
Yeah.
And that's a play I actually like against Shaman because they, they have to get Lightning Storm out very quickly. They have AoE, but they don't have enough. It grows bigger than that very quickly.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is already the next turn you have to high roll, unless you have spell power out. So, yeah, that shade does get really big really fast to get a shaman.
Well, looks like we might just see a totem pop down here and go to the face.
All the spiders.
Yeah, I like this a lot. The healing totem
Yeah.
just changing completely what he should do.
Might as well.
Well,
Alright, well, let's see. Innervate's still a possibility. I mean, you don't really need that defender out yet. I feel like this is a good turn to drop the Shade, or maybe just drop the Harvest Golem as well.
yeah, I think Harvest Golem's really solid. The thing is, with the Shade, if he has a Lightning
you're more
Storm,
vulnerable to Lightning Storm at that point.
Yeah.
You're right.
Shade you might just hold on to for a bit. He's got a lot of great other minions that he can develop, so it looks good.
Alright, let's see. Another Haunted Creeper. Gonna play that for sure.
Hey, this is actually going pretty well, I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be able to Lightning Bolt the Harvest Golem, at least if he wants to. Does he, though?
I was thinking of maybe the Flame Tongue here, but
Yeah, the Flame Tongue is
the thing is, the
maybe what
Flame
I-
Tongue dies if you put it out.
Yeah.
So I understand if he skips that off.
He's just trying to set it up as best he can for a lightning storm. You know, that's kind of like the big priority here.
Yeah,
he does
ooh.
hop on the Haunted Creepers. Wow, and he gets another healing totem. That,
Really solid totem
that
draw.
was nice, yeah.
Let's take a look here.
Echoing Ooze, oh boy. A Savage
man.
Roar if it gets drawn and this doesn't get cleared.
Pretty scary stuff, no doubt.
I'd be scared to play Ooze this turn, though, because with a board like that, you know that Lightning Storm is a big thing.
You,
And
you have to
the
be
way-
careful not to overcommit here, for sure.
Right, I mean, the way he played that last turn as well, like putting out more tokens, even though it puts more damage for skip on the board, I'd be really suspicious of a Lightning Storm in the hand right now.
Yeah, that's something to take into consideration. We might see him actually get a little bit greedy here and innervate out this Argent, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Or Defender Vargas, sorry. On that Ooze, as well as another minion. That's a strong play right there, dog.
Yep.
My
Well,
God,
I mean,
his board is so insane.
to be fair, without spell power, he needs to high roll to kill a 3 health minion, so it's not as dangerous as it could be, but it's still risky.
Yeah, let's see what he goes for here. I feel like Lightning Storm's almost like needed.
Yeah. Now, he's got some other cards out to use. Do you go for the spell power totem before you Lightning Storm here? What do you think? Do you take
That's a really
risk?
good question. It's
It's-
a really good one.
It's 1 in 4, but it's so big if you get it because
It's
it's a matter
huge.
of for sure clearing everything, and maybe clearing everything and having some stuff to deal with it.
The thing
That's a
is,
tough choice.
the Earth Shock I'd want to throw down on either the Golem or the Spider too.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I think this is the safer play
a
because
bit safer because you can Lightning Bolt as well
It's
into
a-
the Harvest Golem, and then you might clear everything.
this is a little bit lower risk overall. You're going to get more value out of
The thing is, he is locking up mana heavily for next one. Oh, he gets a bit unlucky
Oh.
there. 3 low rolls.
it. Yeah, really unlucky, in fact.
Yeah, that's pretty unlucky. But you know what? He can clear this up over time.
Yeah.
It's not like the biggest deal in the world, but it's definitely frustrating.
He still gets 2 spiders out of this, and his opponent only has 2 minions on the board after the attack. So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a little bit of lag there. At the end of the day, it takes away the potential of a huge Savage Roar, which is, the whole point of that. And look at that, Savage
of the
Roar was
devil.
drawn. So, if that hadn't have been cleared the way he did it, it would have been a pretty dangerous spot, even at 29 health.
Looks like he wants to go ahead and Wrath here. See what he draws.
Yep.
Might use his hero power on the other one as well. Double Savage Roar.
Savage
Holy
Roar.
God,
Oh.
that's some scary stuff right there.
Yeah.
So he's gonna keep both of his minions alive, and with that double Savage Roar, if he plays Shades of Noxramas next turn and we don't see a decent draw out of Powder, this game could actually end pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think so. The thing with this Druid deck is that you can even do like an early Savage Roar and just do a lot of damage to your opponent and get him like sub 10 or something and finish him off over the next couple turns. Like there's so many aggressive ways you can play this deck.
Well, he does roll a Taunt Totem and take out one of these minions, so that's definitely
Yeah.
a big deal.
It's going to be a little while before the Savage Roar comes into play now.
And I expect to just see a Totem clear hero power type of situation.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Well, I'm not really liking Powder's hand here. I gotta tell you, he needs like a
No.
Wolves or something like that.
Or like he needs a Fire Elemental or something. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that'd be
Harvest Golem, so that's something anyway.
And
Yeah.
you can't really play the Flame Tongue. You want to save that for now.
It's too easily cleared. Let's see. We should keep track of some of that damage because double Savage Roar
yeah.
with 2 minions out there, that's 12 damage
That's
right off the bat.
that is 12 plus 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, he's got 17 damage in total, so
And-
that would be lethal if this stuff lives.
Yeah, if this stuff all stays out,
Yeah.
then we're going to have a dead powder here in a very quick King of the Hill.
Yeah, it won't live, but we'll see if he kills
Yeah.
more than just this defender. That's the tricky thing, and he's going to go ahead and take out the totem. I think that's a good decision. He knows Bloodlust is in the deck, so
Yeah, I mean,
a Desperation Bloodlust would be a possibility. Let's look at the damage, though. So it's still...
okay,
yeah,
this is
impacts.
still,
Yep.
it's still 12 damage plus 4, plus 5. Okay, plus 5, so that's still a lot of damage. Not quite there, especially with this taunt totem out.
Yep.
He's going to get there pretty quickly. Look at, I mean, he has Swipe and he has the Keeper, so he can deal with this right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. What is he going to do?
He has so many options. It's
Yeah.
actually, it's like impossible to even guess because
Maybe you think like a swipe the totem, or swipe the flame tongue totem, and then keeper the token
I
from
think-
the harvest golem. Just leave the taunt alive for now.
I think for sure Keeper comes out.
Yeah.
Like really for sure Keeper comes out.
Do you
and,
just silence instead? Looks like he wants to swipe.
I think a swipe to face is actually completely fine because you
Oh,
can
yeah,
swipe
you
to
could
face and
keeper
then Keeper
the flame tongue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All right.
And putting him down that much more makes it so much more likely that you're going to be able to lethal him next turn.
With your frog taunt totem out as well too, you don't need to worry about it as much. But yeah, he's gonna go for this. I feel like this is a little bit safer play. It does take away all damage on the board
Yeah.
for powder, and with only 2 cards in hand. Yeah, and he even reveals the shade. Wow. Okay.
Well, we're probably going to have to see Hex on that,
Yep.
as rough as that is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's still 8 times 2, that's 16, 17, 18, 19 damage. Barely not enough to kill right now.
Yeah.
He might cycle a Wrath here.
Could be, yeah, if he draws into like another swipe or something. Oh, there we go.
Never mind, that's more than enough, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he's got, it
14,
should be, right?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
14 plus 8 plus 2. So that's a
That's
lot.
enough,
That's,
yeah,
that's
that's-
26 against 21 health. So, yeah, that's going to be it. And we're
Wow.
actually going to have Skip go 4-1 in a very one-sided King of the Hill.
Yeah, he did extremely well with that mid-range hunter and finish it off with this really great druid deck. Very, very meta, very topical. And that is going to be it. The Taunt Frog finishes the match 4-1 for Skip. That is it for the King of the Hill this week. Alright guys, so that's going to do it this week for us on the King of the Hill. Skip taking the match 4-1 over Powder. Some really good play. Powder could never really kind of get things started. He had a cool game with his Shaman Bloodlust deck, but
Yeah.
in the end, yeah, Hunter and Druid bring the power of nature, I guess,
Well,
in this one.
That's just the state of Hearthstone right now, isn't
Pretty
it?
much,
So,
yeah.
Very well done by Skip. 2 wins in a row. Could he be one of these players that gets 3 wins, Doa?
Oh, it's possible. I think he's definitely good enough.
He's really good.
I think he picked really, really good decks as well. Starting off with the Hunter is strong, then following up with that really strong mid-range Druid.
Yeah, he's not screwing around. Like, I wonder what his other 2 decks were. Like, maybe like a Miracle and...
Miracle
Who knows?
Rogue and probably like
Zoo.
some Warlock deck.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
maybe.
gonna say. Yeah.
Well, here's the real question. Do MYM players always go at least 9-0?
That's the question.
I mean, it could be.
Skip has a precedent that's already been set by Tice that he has to follow here.
Yeah.
Like we expect 9 wins from Skip. Yeah. Anything less, and he's
I
just
think
a
that would be-
disappointment to the organization.
That would be pretty crazy. Yeah, he's getting kicked off the team if he doesn't get 9 wins.
That's
You gotta
right.
keep up with Tice.
Gotta live up to Tice's. Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be just about it for this week, Doa.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's been another fun match. We'll see you next week to see if Skip can continue the streak going or if our next challenger is going to take him down. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.